Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I'm your hostess, femininity coach, and author of The Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we've got another story here that I wanted to sort of point out, and this goes along the lines of the live stream and a lady that stashed $47,000. And we're actually going to go back to that because I found the rest of that story and it's absolutely horrendous. But I wanted to share this and speak a little bit on it. This one was a post that I found on Instagram, and it says, "Anonymous, my boyfriend of 3 years lost his job last month, which has been a significant challenge for him. He approached me 2 weeks ago and asked if I could help him pay his mortgage, but I told him no. Last week, he presented me with a spreadsheet detailing everything he had done for me during our relationship, totaling over $20,000 in value. He then broke up with me 3 years down the drain. Despite feeling guilty because he never asked for anything, I still feel that if he is truly my man, then he should have something to offer as well. I can't believe this man broke up with me because I told him no. He found a way to pay it. I don't think I was wrong because he's supposed to lead, not me. Plus, I don't live with him. If I was living with him, I would have did it then. Do you see my point? Thoughts?" And this just pretty much goes to show the kind of selfishness that these women are on. And I know that I've always said that it's part of a woman's nature to be selfish, but there's the kind of selfish that is utilized for things like protecting your children, and that ties into more so like hypergamy. And then there's this toxic form of only ever thinking about me. Even when they're in relationships, the man doesn't matter in these relationships. And she also mentioned something key. She mentioned about leadership. And that is one of the things that I really want to point out here, right? Because the comments here made some good points, but then you had this one right here. So y'all are hungry on these comments. Did y'all miss that she did not live with him? So why should she help on a mortgage she doesn't own or live in? I wouldn't have helped either. At least not with rent or mortgage that I don't lease and co-own. They aren't married. So as a girlfriend and not your wife, there's limits to this assistance. I don't see anything wrong with her saying men should lead because men can't lead anymore. Statistically, women make more money now than men. So we've got a situation that's been ongoing for many years now, where women, specifically Black women, tie a man's leadership into his pocket. And I wanted to also point out later on at some point, a portion of one of a live stream panel that was done by DJ Hamp of This Might Be Risky. Shout out to DJ Hamp, where he was pressing women on respect and respect of men, respect of Black men. And they could not talk about respect without talking about money. There was no way that they could possibly discuss Black women respecting Black men in ways that didn't involve his income, good or bad. And we see this repeated often, that modern women tie a man's finances to his ability to lead. And that's problematic on a lot of different levels, because what money a man has doesn't have anything to do with whether or not he's a good leader, with whether or not he has good system, order, and structure, with whether or not he has good spirituality or keeps his health up or has good family value or has good appearance value or has good dwelling value and so forth and so on. Having money doesn't guarantee these things. So there are plenty of men that are able to go and get a good profession and make good money, and they're not good leaders. They don't have good family value. They don't have a good esteem of women or relationships or any of that. Some of them don't even have any interest in it, even if he could do it. And then there are men that don't make this exorbitant amount of money that women think men need to have, that are extremely capable leaders, have a wealth of masculinity, like masculinity overflow. Excellent men who create systems, order, and structures within his own life, within the lives of his families. You don't have to make an exorbitant amount of money to be a good leader, to have good spirituality, and to command respect from your family, from your wife. And it should never be like that, because if you are a wife, then you understand that respect comes with that title. You are obligated to respect a man that you accepted his proposal. You accepted his marriage. You accepted his marriage bond. Why would you ever accept a man's marriage bond that you don't respect? Because if respect has to be tied to money, hard times come for everybody. If he loses it, if something happens, if the economy downturns, if he gets into an accident, he doesn't have to be incompetent for the money to go down. All he has to do is have some type of physical problem, some type of accident, get sick, whatever the case may be. It doesn't even have to be things within his control. So if something happens outside of his control and the money takes a dip, you're gone. And don't get in my comment section talking about how you're not going to be gone, because these women are looking for a way out from old girl that stole the 22,000. This lady that I talked about before that stole the 47,000. This lady that wouldn't help him in a hard point after 3 years of being with this man. She admits that he never asked her for anything. So this is not a guy that's been leeching off of you and bumming off of you. He asked you one time, and mortgage and stuff don't even really be that high. It's no higher than anybody's rent. A lot of times it's cheaper than rent for the same amount of space and square footage. And she said, no, you definitely aren't sticking around doing hard times talking about if she lived there, she would have paid. No, you wouldn't have. Because we got an example of another lady sitting on top of a pile of money and her husband's literally dying trying to provide. His health is going down the drain. She does not care about this man's physical or mental well-being. She's just going to watch him work himself into the ground and then shrug her shoulders like, oh, well, this is what you should be doing, work yourself into the ground. And so many of you chicks agree with that mindset. This is why you're not married. Y'all have so much rhetoric. Well, Black men don't want to be married, and the percentage is so low. Don't they want to be married? Of course they do, but they don't want to be married to disloyal hoochies like y'all. Y'all don't know the meaning of loyalty at all. Like, you have no loyalty. You have no honor. None. You're gone at the first sight of any trouble. You're not the type to stick through nothing. Nothing. Y'all like to say cheating is your deal breaker, but no, it's not. Y'all stay for that. But if his money dip, that's when you gone. And like I said before, it doesn't even have to be something within his control. You don't care about the circumstances under which it happened. You just care that it happened, and you're not going to be able to spend money or live the way you want to live, which further indicates that you care nothing about the sanctity of marriage at all. So trying to pin it on the men, well, the men aren't getting married because they just don't want to get married, and there are women out here. Just because y'all physically exist don't mean y'all any good. Yeah, are there plenty of women that physically exist that's walking around? Yeah, but how many of your wives? Not many. Few and far between. This level of toxic selfishness is rampant among you. No reason to think that a man that is sane would ever want to wife you. He dodged a bullet, but not before $20,000 of his money over the course of 3 years had been spent. So this man thought he was in a relationship with this woman until she proved that he wasn't, that she wasn't worthy of a serious relationship. This is why men don't take you seriously. Because they know if you meet him today and he's at a certain status and you're so-called in love, if the wind blow in a different direction and something happens, he knows that they know how fickle you are. You tell on yourselves. Like I said, no honor, no integrity, no loyalty, no thought of what being married is, what being a wife is, how to be married. Y'all don't even know how to keep boyfriends. Y'all no idea. This rhetoric about what's mine and what's yours, y'all even get into marriages tit for tat and counting. You can't do that. If you want your marriage to survive, there's no way you can count. You cannot count. Well, I did this for you, and then you did that for me, but then I did more, but because I did, you can't count. Once you start counting and calculating and trying to figure out and going tit for tat, your relationship is doomed from that point. And it's just a matter of time, unless you ditch that foolishness. But we're going to continue to talk about why these men are walking away from these women in droves. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your hostess, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.